You've made it. Past security, coffee in hand, gate in sight. You find a seat, connect to the Wi-Fi, and for the first time in hours, you take a deep breath. You can finally relax, right? Wrong. That exact moment of relief, that feeling that the hard part is over, is precisely what airport thieves are waiting for. They thrive on that sigh of relief. Forget the old image of a simple pickpocket looking for a lost wallet. Today's airport thieves are sophisticated, operating in teams in crowded cafes, moving silently through darkened plane cabins, and blending in seamlessly right at the baggage claim. They're not just after your cash anymore. They're targeting everything from the laptop in your carry-on and the data on your phone to the very car you left behind in the supposedly secure parking lot. The scary part? It happens quietly, smoothly, and most victims don't even realize they've been hit until they're miles away, in a different city, reaching for a wallet or a passport that's no longer there. In this video, we're pulling back the curtain on the real hotspots where travelers become easy targets. More importantly, I'm going to give you the simple, updated strategies to make sure that everything you left home with comes home with you. Let's start with the one place where more valuables are stolen than anywhere else in the entire airport. The moment you pull into that long-term parking spot and walk toward the terminal, your car transforms from your ride into a stationary metal invitation for thieves. They know that your vehicle will be sitting there, unattended, for days or even weeks. And you might be leaving them clues without even realizing it. That little parking pass you leave on your dashboard displaying your return date? To a thief, that's not a receipt. It's a countdown timer, a schedule for when they can work without interruption. A stack of mail you forgot to take inside? That signals you've been gone for a while and won't be back anytime soon. Even those airline baggage tags from your last trip, still dangling from a suitcase in the backseat, tell them you're a frequent traveler, and you're definitely not coming back tonight. Airport parking lots are a criminal's goldmine for a few simple reasons. Cars sit unattended for predictable, extended periods. The owners, that's you, are rushing to catch a flight, completely distracted by luggage, kids, and boarding times. And let's be honest, security in these massive lots can be spotty. Cameras have huge blind spots, and patrol cars can't be everywhere at once. So, thieves will position themselves near shuttle stops or elevators, and they watch. They're reading your body language, looking for tells that scream easy target. Are you nervously fumbling with your keys and bags? That suggests you're flustered and inexperienced. Are you unloading multiple heavy suitcases? That implies valuable contents and a long trip. Are you looking around, confused, trying to figure out which terminal you need? That tells a criminal you're unfamiliar with the airport and likely won't be in a rush to return if you forgot something. But here's the really chilling part. Modern car thieves don't even need to smash a window anymore. They use sophisticated gadgets called signal boosters or relay attackers. A thief can be standing 30 feet away, pretending to load groceries into their own car, while their device captures the signal from your key fob, right out of your pocket or purse. The device then amplifies and relays that signal to a second thief standing next to your car. Your car thinks the real key is right there and the doors just unlock. No alarm, no broken glass. They can be in and out in seconds. Rental cars are another prime target. Thieves recognize the license plate patterns, the barcode stickers on the windows, and the rental company frames. To them, a Hertz or Avis sticker might as well say guaranteed tourist with luggage, laptops, and cash inside. So, how do you make your car invisible? First, park smart. Choose a spot near a shuttle stop or an elevator, anywhere with high foot traffic and good lighting. Second, before you lock up, do a clean sweep. Remove everything visible. That means phone chargers, sunglasses, loose change, and especially any receipts or documents with your name or travel dates on them. Make the inside of your car look completely empty and uninteresting. If you think thieves clock out once the plane door closes, think again. For a certain type of criminal, the confined space and relaxed atmosphere of an airplane cabin is the perfect hunting ground. Passengers feel safe. You've been through layers of security, so the person sitting next to you must be okay, right? Thieves count on this false security bubble. Red-eye flights are their favorite playground. The cabin is dark, Most passengers are asleep, and the constant drone of the engines provides the perfect white noise to cover their movements. While you're dreaming of your destination, they're methodically moving through the aisles, checking underseat bags and unzipped carry-ons in the overhead bins. So, what makes you a target at 30,000 feet? It's the little things. Falling asleep with your phone or tablet visible in the seat back pocket. Leaving your expensive noise-canceling headphones on the empty seat next to you. Having an overhead bag with easy access zippers instead of a simple lock. It's also about misplaced trust. You trust the stranger next to you way too quickly, just because you're sharing an armrest. Be wary of the overly helpful passenger who insists on lifting your heavy bag into the overhead bin for you. They might just be a good Samaritan, but they could also be secretly checking the weight and feel of your bag, cataloging your expensive electronics with a quick peek inside. Another common tactic happens during the chaos of deplaning. Someone accidentally grabs your bag from the overhead bin. By the time you realize the mistake, they've vanished into the crowded terminal. These aren't always mistakes. It's no surprise that business and first-class passengers often have bigger targets on their backs. The visible wealth, the designer bags, the expensive watches, the high-end laptops, combined with complimentary alcohol can create a perfect storm for distracted theft. Thieves watch what you pull out during boarding. That MacBook Pro, those Bose headphones, that leather wallet, it all signals a high-value target worth the risk. Protecting yourself in the air is simple. Keep your most valuable items, passport, wallet, phone, medication, in pockets that are in direct contact with your body throughout the flight. Don't leave them in a jacket that's folded in the overhead bin. For your carry-on, use small luggage locks or even locking carabiners on the zippers. They're a cheap but surprisingly effective deterrent. Most importantly, maintain a level of awareness, even when you're trying to rest. The passenger who keeps getting up to use the bathroom but seems more interested in the overhead bins might not have a weak bladder. Connecting to public airport Wi-Fi without protection is the digital equivalent of leaving your wallet wide open on a food court table while you go to order. Cyber thieves are masters of these environments, and they've turned the convenience of free internet into their personal, data-rich hunting ground. Here's the most common scam, and it's terrifyingly effective. Criminals set up their own fake Wi-Fi hotspots with names that look completely legitimate. Think airport free Wi-Fi or terminal guest network. These aren't real airport networks. They're data harvesting traps designed to intercept every single piece of information you send the moment you connect. Your phone or laptop, programmed to find the strongest signal with a familiar name, often joins these malicious networks automatically. What makes you a target? You're in a rush, your phone is dying, and you desperately connect to the first available network you see. You're distracted by boarding announcements, so you click Accept on security warnings without reading them. You quickly log into your email, check your bank account, or make a hotel booking, all while a thief is silently recording your usernames and passwords. Cybercriminals can even identify high-value targets by monitoring which devices connect. Someone with a brand new MacBook Pro connecting to a network labeled First Class Lounge Wi-Fi signals a potentially profitable mark, someone worth targeting with more sophisticated attacks. These Wi-Fi scams work so well because they exploit traveler psychology. You're tired, you're impatient, and you're willing to trade a little bit of security for a lot of convenience. Criminals use techniques like packet sniffing and man-in-the-middle attacks to intercept everything flowing through their fake networks. From your private emails and social media messages to your credit card numbers and banking information. Business travelers get hit the hardest. Thieves know they are likely accessing sensitive company systems, client data, and financial accounts on the go. An entire corporate network can be compromised because one executive logged in from a compromised airport hotspot. Your digital defense is straightforward. First, get a VPN or virtual private network. A good VPN encrypts all your data, making it unreadable to anyone trying to spy on the network. Turn it on before you connect to any public Wi-Fi. Second, avoid doing any sensitive transactions, like banking or online shopping, on airport Wi-Fi if you can help it. Wait until you're on a secure, trusted network. And finally, if you're unsure about a network's name, Ask an airport employee at an information desk. A 30-second question can save you from a massive headache. The TSA security checkpoint feels like the safest place in the airport. It's filled with uniformed officers and surveillance cameras. But ironically, this is where criminals often conduct their first real-world assessment of potential targets. And most travelers hand them a detailed profile of their valuables and their vulnerability without saying a single word. Thieves don't operate in the line itself. They're sitting in the nearby coffee shops and seating areas with a clear view of the TSA lines. They're watching you. They see you fumbling to get your laptop out of a disorganized bag. They watch you take off an expensive watch or flashy jewelry and place it in the bin. They see your reaction when the alarm goes off. Do you panic, or do you handle it calmly? Here's what they're noting. You struggle to take off your shoes while juggling 3 different bags. This signals you're disorganized. You toss your MacBook into a bin and then carelessly stuff it back into an unzipped backpack on the other side. This shows you're not security conscious. You become visibly flustered and stressed by the whole process. This reveals you're an inexperienced or anxious traveler. Criminals read these behavioral markers like a playbook, and they're deciding if you're worth following. Your brain is hardwired to focus on one thing in that line: TSA compliance. Get the liquids out, laptop in its own bin, shoes off. This tunnel vision creates the perfect opportunity for criminals to take inventory of your valuables, assess your stress level, and decide if you're a good target for a later play, perhaps at the gate or baggage claim. Sometimes, organized theft rings will even have one person create a minor disruption, like a spill or a loud argument, to draw everyone's attention, while another member of their team calmly observes how passengers react and where they place their most valuable items. What screams inexperienced traveler? Wearing complicated, lace-up boots, forgetting to take a belt off, packing toiletries incorrectly, and having to frantically repack your bag right there at the conveyor belt. These small mistakes signal vulnerability to a trained eye. The assessment doesn't even end when you're through the scanner. They watch how you reassemble yourself on the other side. Are you so flustered that you leave a phone or a wallet in the gray bin? It happens more than you think. To project confidence instead, be prepared. Have your liquids and electronics easily accessible. Use slip-on shoes. And once you're through, take your bins to a nearby bench to reorganize calmly. Immediately secure your wallet, passport, and phone before doing anything else. A calm traveler is an unappealing target. That brightly colored luggage tag you bought on Etsy, with your full name, home address, and phone number neatly written on it? It's not just a way for the airline to find your bag if it gets lost. It's a public announcement to every criminal in the airport that your house is empty. Here's how this simple piece of information can be exploited. At baggage claim, a thief doesn't even need to steal your bag. They just need to walk by and snap a quick, discreet photo of your luggage tag. Now they have your name and address. Your flight number, often on the airline's own tag, tells them where you've come from. If it's a long-haul international flight, they know your house is likely to be vacant for at least a week, maybe more. They can then do a quick online search of your address to see what your house looks like. Is it in an affluent neighborhood? Does it look like it has poor security? Your simple luggage tag has just become a key piece of intelligence for a planned burglary. Organized crime rings treat airports like a shopping catalog for future targets, building detailed databases of empty homes with precise vacancy windows. Why do so many travelers carelessly display this information? Because our minds are focused on one problem: the fear of the airline losing our luggage. We think providing a full address is the best way to ensure its recovery. We're not thinking about the criminal exploitation of that same information. Beyond just your address, every piece of data on that tag is useful to a scammer. Your full name can be used for identity research and social media stalking. Your phone number can be used for sophisticated social engineering scams. Imagine getting a fake call from the airline about a problem with your bag, asking for personal details to verify your identity. Even those fun destination stickers you collect can reveal your travel patterns and signal a certain level of wealth. Business travelers, again, can paint bigger targets on themselves. Premium luggage brands like Rimowa or Tumi signal a higher income household. Luggage tags showing frequent extended international travel indicate a property that is regularly empty for weeks at a time. Criminals are all about risk versus reward, and they prioritize these high-value, low-risk opportunities. The fix is incredibly simple. On your external luggage tags, use only your last name and a phone number, preferably a cell phone. If you want to include an address, write it on a piece of paper and place it inside your suitcase, perhaps in a top pocket. That way, only legitimate airline staff who have to open your bag will ever see it. And maybe skip the destination stickers that advertise your expensive trips. Your luggage should be anonymous, revealing nothing about your wealth, your schedule, or your home's security status to a casual observer. Airport restrooms are a prime hunting ground for thieves. They know it's one of the few places where you are physically encumbered, distracted, and unable to give chase if something is stolen. They exploit this moment of vulnerability with terrifying efficiency. Here's what makes you a target in a restroom. You're wrestling with your roller bag and set your smaller handbag or backpack on the dirty floor next to the toilet. You hang your purse or jacket on the hook on the back of the stall door, where anyone can reach over. Or in a moment of desperation, you ask a complete stranger to just watch my stuff for 1 second. You're trusting someone you've never met with your passport, wallet, and phone. Criminals understand the psychology of this space perfectly. Victims are in a compromised position and can't immediately react. Most people are also too embarrassed or shocked to cause a big scene in a restroom, which gives the thief precious extra seconds to get away. They exploit this social discomfort and your natural hesitation. Their tactics are brazen. A common one is simply reaching under the stall door to grab a bag sitting on the floor. It's low, quiet, and by the time you've realized what's happened, they are gone. Others will pose as cleaning staff, giving them a legitimate reason to be in the restroom and access unattended items. Some will simply grab a purse off a hook while pretending to wash their hands, acting like they belong there until the moment they bolt for the door. Thieves identify valuable targets by observing what you carry into the restroom. A designer handbag, a laptop bag, or someone juggling multiple expensive-looking items signals a worthwhile opportunity. Solo travelers face the biggest risk because they have no one to watch their belongings, forcing them to choose between bringing everything into a cramped stall or leaving it outside. Your protection strategy here is all about contact. Never let your bags leave your body. Keep your backpack on, or place your purse in your lap. If you have a roller bag, keep it pressed against the stall door with your foot. Use the stall locks properly, and never, ever trust a stranger to watch your valuables, no matter how kind or helpful they seem. Baggage claim is, by design, an uncontrolled environment. It's often the least secure area of the entire airport. Anyone can walk in from the street, stand by a carousel, and grab a suitcase without being questioned. Thieves know this, and they also know that most tired travelers won't challenge someone who confidently picks up a bag and walks away. Here's how they exploit the chaos. You're exhausted from your flight. You're distracted by your phone, trying to coordinate your ride. You've mentally checked out because you feel like you've completed the hard part of traveling. Criminals target this window of extreme fatigue when your guard is at its absolute lowest. They watch for travelers who are standing far back from the carousel, absorbed in a phone call, or failing to pay close attention to the bags as they come out. What makes you an easy target here? You look lost or unfamiliar with the airport layout. You seem overwhelmed by the process of finding the right carousel. Or you have expensive, flashy luggage, but you aren't standing near it protectively. Criminals read these behavioral signals as a clear roadmap to an easy theft. The psychology they exploit is based on confidence. In a crowd, anyone who acts like they belong there is assumed to be legitimate. A thief doesn't look shady. They look just like any other traveler. They'll confidently walk up, grab a bag that looks like theirs, and stride towards the exit. They particularly target generic black roller bags. There are dozens of them on any given flight, making them nearly impossible to distinguish from a distance. By the time you realize your identical-looking bag isn't coming, yours is already in the trunk of a taxi. International arrivals are where the risks are highest. Jet lag completely destroys your situational awareness. You're grappling with a new time zone, possibly a new language, and you're just focused on getting to your hotel. Criminals know that travelers on these flights are also more likely to be carrying valuable items from their trips abroad. Your defense strategy is simple but crucial. Get a spot right up against the carousel where the bags come out. This makes it harder for someone else to grab your bag without you noticing. Make your luggage distinctive. Use a brightly colored bag, a unique luggage strap, or even just a piece of colorful ribbon tied to the handle. Something that makes your bag instantly recognizable to you. And finally, maintain constant visual contact with that carousel from the moment the first bag appears until you have physically claimed your own. Don't assume the person grabbing the bag next to yours belongs there. Pay attention until your property is in your hands. A theft tactic that is wildly successful in Barcelona will fall completely flat in Bangkok. Thieves are, in their own way, expert sociologists. They tailor their scams to local culture and tourist stereotypes, identifying vulnerable travelers with location-specific plays designed to exploit specific nationalities. How do they do this? They study tourist behavior. They know, for example, that some nationalities tend to be louder and more open, making them susceptible to distraction scams. Others might be more reserved but are known to carry significant amounts of cash, requiring a different approach. Some travel in large, obvious tour groups and are laden with expensive cameras and electronics, making them a target for organized teams. The psychology behind this regional targeting is all about prediction. Criminals study flight schedules from different countries. They observe tourist traffic patterns, and they share information with each other about what works. This creates a region-specific playbook for identifying and approaching victims. For example, the classic mustard squirt scam is common in Europe. A scammer will squirt a condiment on your back. A helpful stranger, their accomplice, will then rush up to help you clean it off, and in the ensuing confusion, they will pick your pocket or lift your wallet. It works because it preys on your shock and gratitude. In some parts of Asia, you might encounter fake monks who offer you a trinket and then aggressively demand a donation. This scam works by exploiting tourists' respect for religious figures and their reluctance to cause a scene. Criminals assess you using subtle cultural cues you probably don't even realize you're broadcasting. The language you speak reveals your nationality and can imply your wealth level. Your style of clothing can instantly mark you as a tourist. And behavioral patterns like looking lost while staring at a map on your phone make you an obvious and easy target. Business travelers are particularly vulnerable to these regional scams. Their minds are focused on getting to a meeting, and their tight schedules make them less likely to have researched common local criminal patterns. They are focused on efficiency, not on their surroundings. Your best defense is pre-travel intelligence. Before you go, do a quick online search for common tourist scams in your destination. Forewarned is forearmed. When you arrive, take a few minutes to observe how locals behave, dress, and interact. The goal isn't to be paranoid, but to blend in. The less you look and act like a stereotypical tourist, the less you'll be targeted by those who prey on them. Modern technology, specifically luggage trackers like Apple AirTags or Tiles, has been a game-changer for travelers. They've shifted the power balance, turning a stolen bag from a lost cause into a trackable piece of evidence that can, and often does, lead police directly to the thieves. Your stolen suitcase suddenly becomes a digital breadcrumb trail. But here's the catch. Thieves adapt. They are learning to identify and disable these tracking devices, which makes your placement strategy absolutely critical. It's become a small-scale tech arms race happening inside your suitcase. Sophisticated thieves now know to check the common hiding spots first: the side pockets, the front pouches, and any other obvious compartment where most people would quickly toss a tracker. Why do trackers deter theft in the first place? Because criminals hate risk. They are increasingly likely to avoid bags they suspect might contain a tracker, preferring an easier, non-traceable target. They're even developing behavioral profiles to spot tech-savvy travelers. They see you with the latest iPhone, an Apple Watch, and AirPods, and they make an educated guess that you probably have an AirTag in your checked bag too. In response, some organized theft rings are now using signal jammers, or have developed quick removal techniques to find and discard trackers within minutes of stealing a bag. This is why your hiding spot is so important. The secret criminals don't want you to know is that your single tracker can do more than just find your bag. When you provide that real-time location data to the police, it can help them identify patterns, connect your case to other thefts, and sometimes unravel an entire criminal network operating at the airport. So, your placement strategy needs to be clever. Don't just toss it in a pocket. Think like a thief. Where would you not look? Hide the tracker deep inside the bag. Sew it into the fabric lining. Tape it to the inside of the plastic housing for the extendable handles. Put it inside a shoe or a rolled-up pair of socks right in the middle of the bag. For maximum security, consider using 2 different types of trackers in 2 different locations. If theft does occur, activate the lost mode immediately and provide the authorities with that live data. It's your best chance at recovery. The airport restaurant, cafe, or lounge creates a deceptive comfort zone. The atmosphere is relaxed, you're sitting down, maybe having a drink. This is where travelers drop their guard completely, and criminals expertly exploit this false sense of security. They blend in perfectly, looking like fellow passengers, while they systematically scan the area for diners with valuable items, and, more importantly, poor situational awareness. Here's what makes you a prime target while you eat. You place your phone on the table, right next to the salt shaker within easy grabbing distance for anyone walking by. You hang your handbag or laptop bag on the back of your chair, a classic easy snatch. You become completely absorbed in a conversation, a video, or just scrolling through social media, losing all track of your surroundings. Or you leave your belongings unattended at the table while you go up to the counter to order. Criminals exploit the psychology of dining. Eating and drinking naturally lower your guard and create predictable moments of distraction. A thief will time their move for that exact moment when you are focused on paying the bill, taking a bite of food, or answering a phone call. They use sophisticated observation techniques. They're not just looking for a bag to grab, they're looking for the right bag. They'll note who is wearing a designer watch or using the latest smartphone. They identify solo diners, who are often easier targets because they don't have a companion to watch their things. Airport lounges present a unique risk. Travelers assume that because they had to show a special ticket or credit card to get in, everyone there is a legitimate high-status passenger. This makes them even less likely to suspect theft from the well-dressed person sitting next to them. Business travelers are especially vulnerable here, as they often have laptops open with valuable company data, creating a massive distraction while they try to work and eat at the same time. Your protection strategy is, again, about contact and positioning. Keep your belongings on your lap or looped through your leg. When you sit down, try to choose a seat with a wall behind you, limiting the avenues of approach. And force yourself to maintain a baseline level of awareness, even while you're enjoying your meal. Don't let the comfort zone become a crime scene. For years, we've heard horror stories about juice jacking, the idea that hackers can use compromised public USB ports to steal data from your phone. While that is technically possible, you're worried about the wrong threat. The far more common and far more real danger at a public charging station is good old-fashioned physical theft of your unattended device. While you're paranoid about a hacker in your phone, a thief is just planning to walk away with the whole phone. Here's why charging stations have become such popular hunting grounds. Criminals know that travelers naturally let their guard down while a device is tethered to a wall. Your phone feels secure because it's physically plugged into something. But that cable is really just an anchor, keeping your expensive device in one predictable, stationary location while you get distracted. What makes you vulnerable? You plug your phone in and then walk 10 feet away to grab a coffee or use the restroom. You become absorbed in a book or a conversation with a fellow traveler, completely losing awareness of the phone sitting just out of your direct line of sight. You inherently trust that these charging areas are secure because they look official and are provided by the airport. Criminals exploit the psychology of the low battery. That flashing red 1% battery warning triggers a primal panic in our modern brains. We get desperate. We'll plug into any available port and accept risks we'd normally avoid because that sense of urgency overrides our security instincts. The tactics are painfully simple. A thief will pose as a fellow traveler, maybe even plugging in their own phone. while they scope out the most expensive devices. They might create a small distraction, like accidentally dropping their bag, to draw attention, then grab a phone during that brief moment of confusion. They're looking for high-end phones, but they're also watching user behavior. The person who seems the most distracted is the person they will target. The best defense is to be self-sufficient. Carry a portable battery pack or power bank. They're inexpensive and mean you never have to use a public charging station at all. If you absolutely must use one, stay with your device. Don't walk away, not even for a second. Treat it like a baby that can't be left alone. Maintain your awareness, even during that necessary charging break. You've survived the check-in lines, the security screening, and the flight itself. You've grabbed your bags. You step out of the terminal into the fresh air, thinking you're finally safe. Welcome to the final gauntlet, the curbside pickup area. This is an uncontrolled, chaotic environment where criminals operate with minimal oversight and maximum opportunity. This is where thieves exploit chaos and urgency, targeting travelers who are completely focused on finding their ride while trying to manage luggage and dodge traffic. What makes you vulnerable here? You're standing with all your expensive luggage, but you're staring intently at your phone, trying to match the license plate of your Uber with the 100 cars zooming by. You blindly trust a helpful stranger who offers to carry your bags or give you directions. You've let your guard down completely because you've survived the airport, and you think the journey is over. Criminals out here are looking for specific behavioral markers. Travel fatigue is written all over your face, making you less alert. Expensive luggage brands signal a high-value target worth approaching. And confusion about the pickup procedures reveals inexperience and vulnerability. The psychology they exploit here is your instinct to trust people who seem to be in charge or who are offering help. Fake rideshare drivers are a huge problem. They'll see you on your phone and might overhear you say the name you're looking for. "I'm trying to find my Uber for Sarah." A car will quickly pull up and the driver will say, "Uber for Sarah?" You, relieved, will say yes and hop in. But he's not your driver. He's a scammer who may overcharge you, take you to the wrong place, or worse. Fraudulent porters are another issue. They'll wear official-looking vests and offer to help you with your bags, and in the chaos, an item goes missing. These official-looking criminals exploit your natural tendency to trust a uniform. International travelers face the biggest risks curbside. Jet lag has wrecked your alertness, and you may be confused by the local currency and unfamiliar customs, creating multiple opportunities for exploitation. Your strategy here is simple. Verify everything inside the terminal before you step outside. Don't walk out until you know the exact make, model, and license plate of your car, and the driver's name. When your ride pulls up, confirm the name with the driver before you even open the door. Stay alert during the pickup process and maintain physical control of all your belongings until they are safely locked inside your verified transportation. Here is the single biggest secret that airport thieves don't want you to know. They don't succeed because of brilliant, sophisticated criminal techniques. They succeed by exploiting predictable human psychology. Their entire playbook relies on you being tired, distracted, and feeling a false sense of security after you pass through the checkpoints. Every single targeting factor we've covered today comes down to simple, observable behavioral patterns that criminals have learned to recognize instantly. So, how do you become invisible to them? It's not about being paranoid or seeing a threat around every corner. It's about making small, conscious changes to your behavior. It's about being prepared for the security line. It's about keeping your bag on your lap in the cafe. It's about hiding your address on your luggage tag. These basic adjustments eliminate almost all of the targeting factors, transforming you from an easy mark into an unappealing, hard target that criminals will simply skip over in search of someone easier. By understanding how they think, you gain the ultimate advantage. You can now move through any airport in the world confidently, projecting an aura of awareness that keeps predators at bay. The goal isn't to travel with fear, it's to travel with presence. Switch off the autopilot, and you become their worst nightmare. Travel smart and travel safe.